Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world, welcome. And thank you so very much for being here. I absolutely love that you are. It is a glorious opportunity for us to spend some time together just prior to Christmas. And I'm just navigating around my computer screen here, seeing what I can see, doing what I can do. I am just going to make sure that we are recording, and indeed it does look like we are. Fantastic. So what are you here for? Well, I want this to be a real hour of power. Those of you who are watching this, either live or via video recorded, should really already be a part of our Positive Prime community. So I'm assuming that you understand that the power of positive priming, the art and the science of it, is all about changing our brains and indeed our minds. Certainly our attitudes, our dispositions, our lens through which we perceive the world. It impacts our behaviors and our habits, and all for lots of really fabulous positive reasons. Today, I want to show you something really I think is sacred. So this is a process, and I love that a healthy self, which is really about your mind body healing. Let me just go and mute some people who are unmuted here, and I'm going to go and actually make sure that I manage the participants and ensure that we have muting. So we're going to, we're actually going to watch a session called Being Happier. Everybody who is a Positive Prime member gets to actually watch sessions that they acquire through their credits from the shop. And there are so many options, okay? Only those of us who are subscribed members, either VIPs or signature members, premium members, we actually have this edit session button, and I think that I'm going to probably have it changed so that it says personalize or upload photos or something like that. I want to show you, because most people don't really believe me when I say I have gone to the effort to personalize a couple of sessions for a whole heap of reasons. So I'm going to click on edit so that you can actually see my private collection. And I'm willing to do this for you too. So this is a special offer. If you are already a VIP, premium or signature member, you can simply have me do this for you leading up to New Year's Eve. We are turning over a new decade. So 1990 is 1990. 2019 becoming 2020 means that we have a new opportunity. Most people really grossly overestimate what they can achieve in a year and terribly underestimate what they can achieve in 10 years. And so take a moment right now and just put your hand on your heart and think about the last 10 years and think about the highlights. What have you been really proud of? What has been a really beautiful experience? What has been really spectacular, really amazing, really awesome? What have you achieved? This is much more than a gratitude process, but you need to be in the energy of, the vibrational match for you having literally exceeded your expectations for the last 10 years. Now, if you can do that, you can actually put yourself into a very dynamic space and place for what is possible, what's the potential over the next 10 years. And Positive Prime is a tool that will accelerate and amplify. It will literally become expansive and exponential for what is possible and the potential. And it does that through this remarkable technology, okay? So the process that I really want you to go through is a very reflective, calm process. I want you to really dive in and think about the last 10 years. What have you been really proud of? What's been awesome, amazing, spectacular, fantastic, and wonderful? What has really taken your breath away? What have you achieved? What strengths have you developed? In what ways have you actually become more resilient? In what ways have you actually become more empowered? In what ways has your life actually been enriched? So you're going to do a review over the last 10 years so that you can actually be in the vibrational match, the frequency of you being absolutely magnificent and majestic as a divine, wholesome, gorgeous human being who's compassionate and passionate. And in this energy, what's going to happen is you are going to design and create the next decade's worth of highlights from a place of recognizing and appreciating the highlights of the last 10 years. Okay, so if there are anything else you want to add, so this is almost like a stock take process. This is a reckoning process, but it's only that which is delicious, right? That which is extraordinary. You want to do, what are your strengths you've developed? Where has your life been empowered and enriched? How proud of yourself are you? What have been the highlights? And this goes way beyond just it being a gratitude journal. In what ways has your body healed itself? In what ways have you become healthier? In what ways are you actually richer? Are you choosing more organic foods more regularly? I want you to really be in this place and space where you are truly thankful for who you've become over the next 10 years. And this is the foundation from which you design, you create, and you live into the next 10 years. So I want to show you something here that this is my personal collection. And as you can see, I have 145 pages and I've selected all of this page. Let's go to page 2. And I'm going to let this load, and I'm doing this to demonstrate, to illustrate to you what is really a magnificent way for you to use the personalizing editing function. And I want you to be like truly audacious in this exercise. So as you can see, this is page 2, and I have a whole heap more, so much more, okay? I have 145 pages of images. Only you can curate, gather and put into one folder all of the images that would be your highlights of the last 10, 20, 30 years. You graduating, the moments that have been magical, okay? Now, beyond that, I will tell you what I have done, knowing that we have been leading into the next decade. So this is just more, right? I am willing to upload into your account thousands of images that I have been curating, collecting, and organizing. You must be a VIP member, a premium member, or a signature member. If you aren't yet, this is only available to VIPs and signatures, and only at a really small gift. So it's a very time-consuming process for me personally and my team. I'm happy to do this. I want to do this for you. I want to show you something that you can see here. Can you see that in my Finder inside my own Apple Mac, I have 11,155 photographs that I have been collecting. And what does that mean? I have thought about over the next 10 years, where are the places I really, really want to go to? The places in the Pacific, the places in the Atlantic. Do I really want to go on an African safari? Do I really want to see the Northern Lights? Do I really want to go to the opera in Vienna in Austria? Do I really want to go and stay in a castle in Scotland? Now, here's the key. I do not need to know now how any of this is going to happen. All I need to do is expect that it will. And I need to really be connected to the divinity within me and the divinity that is all around me. And that needs to actually allow me to stay truly connected to the core of Mother Earth and all the way out to the edges of not just this universe, but all multiverses. And my energy needs to expand that loud. And that's where I need to actually plant the seeds almost like in my 8th energy center. This is where I ask for what it is that I want. I pray and I wish for. But I come from a energy that expects that this absolutely will happen. So I am happy to upload into your personal account so that you have a private collection of 11,000 images that literally, I think you will agree, leaves no place, no stone unturned, no experience not examined, not that I dive into fully over the next 10 years. All right. Now, I actually do have a business, and I also have a complementary supportive parallel business. And I know for a fact that it is possible, and I am capable of learning whatever is needed to be learned. And I am capable of growing and developing in all of the ways in which I know I should or would or could in order to manifest all of this magically, so that I actually enjoy the process, so that I feel like my spirit is uplifted, and so that I contribute to more people in really profound and positive ways. So I am lucky that I have an income vehicle. That means that I don't need to worry about how this is going to happen. I know it's going to. If you do not yet have an income opportunity, a business, a vehicle that is going to facilitate that, then maybe you want to reach out to me or somebody you know. Maybe you want to reach out to several people that you know who have small businesses, have at-home businesses, who are involved in direct sales or multi-level marketing, or they're a realtor and they love it, or it doesn't matter. You just need to know for a fact, deep in every fiber of your being, in every cell of your being, that you actually do have a vehicle that's going to allow you to achieve this, right? And what you need to do is remain forever open to being flexible, so that you might have multiple sources of income, right? You may. And you may have one that fizzles, but you are strong enough and clever enough and talented enough to have another one that's developing as well. Okay, so I am happy to do this for you, or I'm going to suggest that you do it for yourself. All right, so what we're going to dive into now is you just seeing my being happier, right? I'm going to make it 60 minutes and I'm going to load it, and you're going to see my session with 11,000 images in it, okay? And I'm going to tell you how I watch this. I watch it, I actually put into runtime 3 minutes, okay? I put into runtime 3 minutes, and I watch it for 3 minutes quickly first, and that's like truly accelerated. In fact, I might actually do this because we've got time, and I really want to encourage you to do this. So I watch it for 3 minutes, and then I go back and I watch it really slowly. And there will be at least once a week when I use this as my connection opportunity, my deep meditation practice. It's an open eye hypnotherapy healing session. Because we're actually on Zoom and this is happening, this is going to take a little bit for it to load. Even though I just watched it a couple of seconds ago, but I want you to see. So because I am familiar with the neuroscience and the positive psychology principles and foundations of exactly how and why Positive Prime works, I know for a fact that this is really accessing my other than consciousness, and it's helping my paradigms to be completely upgraded, and it's allowing me to really, I think, enhance who I am as a human being, the ways that I think, the ways that I see the world. I may have actually completely maxed out the system here, even though I just watched my being happier for 3 minutes. So bear with me. Anybody got any suggestions, any comments? Okay, Gail, you do. Come on out, sweetie.
Hi, everyone. Happy holiday.
Happy holiday.
Hello. So I have a question for you, Kim, if you don't mind. I watched Dr. Joe Dispenza's video that was on the Positive Prime site today or yesterday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful. Yes.
Okay, so I have a question based on because I'm really thinking about 2020 as well. So I'm so glad I hopped on this. Um, Dr. Dispenza talks about letting go of the past and not refiring pathways from the past. And I'm really thinking about these highlights over the last 10 years. And one of the things that I had planned for my 2020 manifestation sessions was really to focus on like future casting. Can you talk a little bit about reconciling this idea of, because I am thinking about like, should I put these past images in based on what he's saying or not? Do you see what I'm asking?
Absolutely. Dr. Joe Dispenza is actually specifically talking about um, that the majority of us create our future based upon what we haven't wanted in our past. And therefore, we are creating from the energy of we're not good enough, we were never good enough, and in 1,000 different ways, there was something wrong with our past. He is very specific about the emotion of deep, profound, intense gratitude, appreciation, and thankfulness. A lot of people don't create from their strengths. They don't understand that they are truly magnificent, and they have strengths that are absolutely remarkable. And so I like to help people to get into a state or a stage or a place where they recognize how powerful they really are. We unfortunately have this residue in our cells if we think about the mistakes that we've made, right? And so what he's saying is then we will create a future where we have this, how do I describe it? It's almost like a flavoring, where there is a residue, and most people understand this from an epigenetics point of view. I think I've actually completely crashed the system here. So let me just do something else. Let me go to Positive Prime again. Sorry.
Yeah, Kim, that's what I was thinking about because even with the epigenetics reading that I've done, I don't want to go around refiring genes that have been expressed in times of trauma or panic. And I even find, ironically, that a lot of the highlights of my life are coexist with anxiety. Like there's sort of a dichotomy with celebration, and that um so much of what we champion came at like a cost, or at least that's what I have going on in my mind. So I'm actually quite hesitant to put in pictures from the past. I just really am feeling like kind of sick of the past.
Okay, do you know what I love, but you know what, I'm going to try and help you do an energy release. Okay, so the judgment of that is actually you making that wrong. I posted something on my own personal Facebook page yesterday and in some of the Positive Prime community pages about a healing that was done. And it's almost like I would love for you to be at peace, like real peace, that you can't change the past. It is what was meant to happen in order for you to become who you are now. I'll tell you, I have a couple of flavorings of some things. I'll give you an example. Like somebody said to me, I don't eat meat, so I can't watch a session that has images of meat in it. And I say, well, I'm allergic to dairy, right? And I can't actually consume milk or cheese anymore. And I love, 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 love cheese. I have always loved cheese. I've only recently become allergic to dairy. Certainly sensitive, and weirdly, like much more sensitive, much more dramatically over the last couple of months. And it's kind of annoying and disconcerting and frustrating. But I can still look at an image of cheese and I don't have any judgment about whether that cheese is right or wrong, good or bad. I can be really happy that there is cheese for other people to love and enjoy and find delicious and rejoice in and cook with and consume. And I can have zero judgment about them consuming something that is not reacting with their body, right? So I think that there's a very spiritual, very evolved way of us being. And it's really interesting work to do, personal development, self-improvement kind of work around this judgment. I'll give you another example. I haven't been able to have children and I've had a couple of miscarriages. So I don't look at photographs of little children and have a violent reaction to it or an anger or a disappointment, because I've really worked through that. And I don't actually now have any judgment about whether my body was good or bad, right or wrong. It was what it needed to be in that moment, and I have some peace around that. And that's the only way for me to create in the future, is that what happens happens for a really good reason. What happens happens for a really good reason. And I just need to know that it's all about helping me to become the very best version of me, the highest version of me, what is actually in the best interests of my divine self. When I look at some images, and for example, in the personal collection, there are a lot of photographs of Ananda in the Himalayas, where I actually went to teach all the therapists many years ago. And when I see photographs of Ananda in the Himalayas, do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me that my life is a journey, and my business pursuits have actually led me to places I could never have imagined I would have showed up to work in. So when I was very much frenetic in the spa industry and traveling a lot, way beyond my wildest imagination did this invitation come to actually introduce lithos therapy to Ananda in the Himalayas. And so I took that journey and I went and taught those therapists and those Ayurvedic doctors. And I look at those photos now and I think, wow, see, 5 years prior to that experience, I didn't know that that experience was going to unfold. Right? But thank goodness it did, because I loved going to India. It cracked me wide open. Do you know, I had the most extraordinary migraine whilst I was there. It was almost like my senses were assaulted by what is India. And I realized I'm a really empathetic soul. And I saw lots of suffering, and that's what I could see. But I also saw lots of color. And this entire experience of going to Ananda and then working there with the therapists and the doctors and then leaving, I mean, seriously, had that not happened, I would not have looked out across the Himalayas, as they call them, the Himalayas, and I wouldn't have realized just the magnitude of planet Earth. I had a whole new appreciation for Mother Earth. And I literally downloaded, it was almost like God just planted a seed inside of me for what became the I Am Grateful for Life book. And that totally changed the trajectory of my life. And so I put those photographs in my Positive Prime sessions, and now I've actually like intertwined my fiber of being so that those images trigger in me the reminding that I have no idea what exquisite opportunity is going to unfold in 5 years' time. That is, quite frankly, not even something I could go close to fathoming right now. So, Gail, I would say you absolutely need to link your energy with what you're seeing inside your Positive Prime session. So you do need photographs of yourself. You know, maybe you look at a photograph of you as a child, and when you look at that photograph, what you actually perceive, what you link to, what you actually tie into your, what you intertwine into your beingness now is that little child was perfect. That little child had eyes that could see, it had ears that could hear, it had fingers and toes that worked. There were no aches and pains yet, you know, for all of us who are in our 40s, 50s, and 60s, right? So that remembering of you as a youthful child will, from an epigenetics point of view, remind you that you were born perfect. Now, that may or may not work for you, but that is totally up to you to actually do the work where you look at this particular image and you actually decide what it means to you, what's its significance to you, right? So I can actually have alcoholics who absolutely do not touch a drop of alcohol, see sessions with alcohol photographs, but it doesn't trigger them because they can see alcohol now and they can wish other people, without any judgment of whether it's right or wrong, good or bad, the joy that they want to perceive out of one glass of wine, because not everybody has an addictive behavior when it comes to that substance, even though the vast majority of functional medicine doctors will tell you that, you know, 1 to 2 glasses every other couple of days is not going to damage your health. And then there are others who say we should absolutely drink nothing ever, particularly those of us who are on a spiritual journey. Okay, so I'm just going to slow this down now so you can see. And we'll have this conversation. I love this question, Gail, because it is so important, right? So see this? That could be made from high caliber cocoa and coconut sugar and no dairy, right? It could be made from coconut cream. I'm the one that gets to choose what that means to me. If I am trying to give up sugar, I can actually say, oh, wow, that dessert is made with cassava flour, right? If I'm gluten intolerant, I get to make up my mind about what that means to me, right? Like there are some other things that I kind of really want to tell you. When you see these images, what you want to be doing is imagining you are there then. So you might see we're on speed 1 now, aren't we? So you might pause for a second and you might look at this image and you might not know where or how you're going to end up going to an event that looks like this. All you need to know is that you're going to be surprised and delighted by life, and you are going to show up at a dinner that you've been invited to and it's going to look similar, and you're going to look at those kinds of spectacular flowers and be totally in awe of how beautiful flowers are, right? And if you can actually, it's almost like you're extending your own energy as if you are a vibrating, you've seen what sound waves have looked like, haven't you? So if I tell you that sound waves are a wave, light waves are a wave, you as a human being, you have energy waves. You literally, you express, you broadcast energy. Now, when you look at this image, I want you to broadcast your energy there. And when you're there, you're really there, and you're reminding yourself how much you love getting dressed up and going to a special occasion. You know what happens is the universe feels this wish, this desire, this want, this need, this joy, and it literally co-creates with you out there in the ethers the circumstances and the situation and the people and whatever is necessary to make this manifest for you at some stage in the next 10 years, the next decade, right? But the reality is that for you to have some kind of epistemic access to this, the truth is you must have had an experience in your past where you've actually really enjoyed going to a special event, right? We're just going to go through some more, right? So you might see a photograph of a swimming pool. I don't want you to just be stuck in your head and not drop down into your heart and be in your soul, right? So everybody do this with me. Imagine you're standing on the edge of that pool and you're going to dive into that water. What does it feel like? Does it take your breath away because it's freezing? Are you alive? Do you remember that water is really refreshing? Now, for some people, seriously, that might scare the living daylights out of them, right? They might be truly afraid of water. They may not actually be able to swim, and it might be really terrifying. If that's you, this is what you can do. You can look at that and go, wow, isn't it amazing how water reflects beauty? And you can appreciate the way that water moves. It represents flow in life. You can actually connect with water and say, wow, I'm so grateful that I am well hydrated, and I'm so grateful that there's 70% of Mother Earth covered in water, because water is really necessary to life. You get to decide the meaning and the significance of that water, right? So long as it feels awesome to you, feels beautiful, gorgeous, fabulous, and wonderful. I can't wait till I'm invited by somebody who owns either that home or a home like it, and I can't wait to go and sit there and just feel that peace and tranquility and serenity and breathe deeply and go, wow, and be so happy for the person who lives there and be so in awe of who they needed to be in order to create a life and respect a life that allows them to live there. Like I literally can make the most unbelievable stories out of every image, right? All right, so I might see a photograph like this and I think, oh, I'm not going to worry about how I get there. All I'm going to do is imagine that the circumstances, the situation, and the people have been perfect. That means that I am there. I don't know how I'm there, but I am there. And I go and feel that beautiful teal color. What's a bed that feels like velvet, that bed head? What's the bed that bedspread feels like it's just really comforting? Look at that beautiful orchid. I love orchids. I'm there. Now I can tell you that manifestation is about you being there right now and appreciating. How would you feel right there? What needs to have happened in order for you to be there? You go, wow, business has really turned out so well and everything's gotten easier. Everything has gotten easier. I've had so much fun. I've helped so many people, right? I'm in love with life. Now I can look at this and I am going to tell you the absolute truth is I am allergic to kiwi fruit, right? But I can look at those strawberries and that orange and that apple and those grapes, and I can rejoice in the fact that I have had and will have an opportunity to nourish my body with all the nutrients of that organic fruit. And I can just pick out the kiwi and I can give it to Cameron and he can eat it for me. Right? Now, because we know about what's happening for our mirror neurons and our pre-conscious processing, I can almost guarantee to you that some way, shape or form, fruit will actually feature in my today. And it will be actually quite interesting how it shows up, and I will naturally reach for it. I don't even know why, right? Because this has been impressed upon my other than consciousness. So I can tell you, of course, that when I see this, I think, wow, where is that? Oh, I cannot wait. I am so excited about the adventure that I'm going to go on that's going to allow me to actually take in a vista like this. Imagine how quiet it is there. Don't you love the moments when there's peacefulness and tranquility? So who has some more questions, some more observations? Because I really want next year and the following 10 years to be much more incredible than you can even imagine. I'll tell you why, and maybe you want to take this note. I'll tell you why I have the Australian Women's Weekly in there. I actually wrote a list of magazines I would really like to feature a story about PositivePrime. Okay. So I then went and actually on Google Images, I found the logos and I saved them and I put them in there. And what happens is that when I see that, it just flashed by. I hope you all saw it. It was like some words. What it does is it triggers me, and I literally sit here right now and I go, thank you, 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 thank you for the awesome media that's really encouraging and positive, that appears, that really helps to spread the word of PositivePrime. So more and more and more and more and more and more and more people actually do benefit from the benefits, the actual advantages of positive priming. Now, I don't have to worry about how that's going to happen, when that's going to happen. All I know is that there's going to be a vibrational match of it having happened because I'm already in the energy of it having happened, right? Crazily, out of the blue, I noticed something on social media the other day and they were calling for video podcast recordings for someone who has a magazine here in Australia. And so I said I would love to be able to come and share, and voila, and I've got a media interview organised this afternoon. Now, I have to tell you, last Monday, that didn't even exist on my radar, right? Let's keep going. So let's look at this image. I don't know where that is, but you know what? I love the fact that they have just been so bold with that amazing color red. And I see this and I think, oh, could I live in that room? No, that's not the point, right? I am so excited about the vacation I'm going to go on, where I'm going to be in rooms like this and even better. And I'm going to be completely taken away with those flowers. Look at those flowers. Look at those roses in the middle of that table. And I love it that I'm the kind of human being that notices all the fine details, and I can actually have a real appreciation for the craftsmanship, for the creativity, for the fact that people care enough to try to beautify an environment. And that there has been enough history on the planet that has meant that there are artists that have gone to the trouble to actually create those paintings, those murals. I think about who on earth would have actually created that Persian rug that's on the floor. So I want you to look at these photographs, right? And I want you to see what it is that you could find really enjoyable about them. You don't need to go, oh, I'm never going to buy one of those chandeliers. You could perceive that, and you could actually literally have a conversation that says, isn't it amazing that there have been people in our history who have gone to the trouble of creating pieces of art like that chandelier and other pieces of art that to them have been glorious pieces of work. You're getting the hang of it. Oh, that's me and Mike Dooley from Notes of the Universe. Yeah, you know what? To your point, Gail, I was anxious. I was really scared when I met him. I thought, oh, because, you know, oh, he's a star. But he was so nice, right? And he absolutely loves what we're doing, absolutely loves what we're doing, supports what we're doing, thinks it's really important, thinks it's really powerful. But do you know, he actually, before he linked up with Hay House, he had a policy whereby he never promoted anybody else, ever. He wasn't an affiliate for anybody over any products. He doesn't talk about other people's programs. He only talks about Notes from the Universe. And we had the most fantastic conversation about his brother. And he just has the most incredible respect and admiration for his brother, Andy. And what's about that most people don't know, that it's actually Andy who has really been more instrumental in building Mike's company, his profile, his business. So I look at that image and I go, I love it when I learn something about somebody that I didn't know before I met them. And thank goodness I am really inquisitive and curious about people. And then I go, you know what, universe, God, send me some people who I don't yet know, who are totally going to tickle my fancy. Like, I'm going to be totally, completely enthralled with who they are. And guess what? People like you, Gail, show up in my life. Right? Okay, so I think that this is an onsen in Japan. So this is an opportunity to remind yourself that you need to be in action. Look at that. So just sit and enjoy. Imagine yourself there. Look at those roses, would you? Now, of course, what you may do, so I'm just going to switch here so you can see, you may, like me, go to YouTube and I found something here. It's called Receive Unexpected Money in 10 Minutes. I thought, oh, why not try? Hey, well, I can't hurt. So I can't remember what I was actually searching for. You will not believe it, but a brand new signature member literally signed up in that 10 minutes when before. And I was like, this is fun. Okay, so can you see I press play? It's a bit wonky, isn't it, when you're listening to the music that's coming from my computer, so the video recording will be a bit weird. So are you enjoying this? Would you like me to log into your account confidentially, securely, and in a cone of silence, actually upload a couple of thousand photographs for you, and I'll tag it into one session? So if that's a yes, then just let me know. You could actually curate your own images. So you could go to various different websites and find fantastic photos, right click it, save it, put it in your own folder, build up your folder, and then upload 100 photographs or 200 photographs. For me, I watch Being Happier with all of these photographs in it at least once a week, okay? And at the moment we're on speed 2. So I could watch, I literally am very happy to sit here with a cup of tea, and this is like me watching an episode of, you know, whatever that new Jennifer Aniston show is. For me, I could watch an hour of this or an hour of Netflix. The difference, of course, is here I'm intentionally co-creating my future. And I know that opportunities will miraculously fall into place because I actually do this regularly. I still watch lots of other Positive Prime sessions because I'm really interested in upgrading my own operating system, as if, you know, that's like the operating system for my entire beingness. I'll watch content along various different themes. So I'll watch a whole heap of financial sessions, a whole heap of health sessions, a whole heap of, you know, like I'll tell you, every now and again I'll watch Rika Zimmerman's session, then I'll watch Christine Carlson's session and Patty Krummer's session and Marissa Peer's session. So I'm constantly being influenced by other people's higher level thinking in their expertise. So every time I watch somebody else's session, I feel like they're coaching me in that 15 minutes. And I'm really appreciative of that coaching. And I kind of do, I experience Positive Prime sessions as if that person is like here, you know, like a little fairy on my, little birdie on my shoulder, whispering to me actually integrating some of those statements. I watched Audrey's session the other day and it was beautiful, and some of the statements aren't actually natural ways of thinking for me. I could say the same about Betty's new session. So I see that there are a variety of people who have wisdom that I'm really happy to integrate, and I'll watch these sessions because they really help me to change up my thinking. I become much more flexible. I love learning. I do see there is a vision that I have that, you know, in a couple of years' time, there will be a vast library of Positive Prime sessions, almost like summaries of every new book that comes out in every genre. So it's almost like if I want to watch the summary, like the Cliff Notes version of, I don't know, whatever is the new top 10 most popular books in a self-help category or in a business category or in a science category, I can literally just go watch the session. Naturally, of course, I have a vision that we as the Positive Prime community, we will share it with others and we will encourage them to go to the effort to actually watch personalized versions for themselves, for their own. I mean, everybody's worth it. Their own life is worth this effort, being inspired. And so I think that, you know, if all of us go and really encourage 10 other people that we care about to watch Positive Prime sessions relatively regularly, we're doing a great thing for brain training for them. So it's a great thing for their own brain health. We're doing a great thing in terms of developing or helping them to understand that there's something that could develop their own resilience, their own emotional intelligence. Positive Prime is linked to all of this, right? So I think it's an incredible gift. But then I think, okay, so if we've got 10,000 people, and if all of us go and share it with another 10 people, it doesn't take us long to have an audience of 100,000 people. And then it doesn't take us very long to have an audience of 1 million people. And let's just say it takes us a year to get to 100,000 and then another year to get to 1 million. Then, of course, we should have enough influence and impact to be able to get people like Dr. Mark Hyman to do a Positive Prime session where we get to learn what he thinks is his greatest advice on, you know, healing ourselves. And I can think of hundreds of other people. I can't wait till we have, you know, the world #1 golfer or the world #1 tennis player. I mean, I have a photograph of Roger Federer because I would love a session where I watch Roger Federer's mindset, so that actually it's almost like he's coaching me on what he thinks, so that I actually adopt his thinking. I think that that would be really cool. And what I know from speaking to some of the managers and agents for some of these very high profile global superstars is that they usually won't talk to a media. Let's just say they think of us as a media platform to share their message. They won't talk to us until we have at least 1 million members, which is effectively why I hope to be able to encourage lots of people to share it far and wide. Will those images be available for me to use when creating my own videos? Beth, it's a great question. No. So these are actually my photographs. All of my photographs are actually in my own personal computer, and they're in a folder on my computer, and I've uploaded them. Everybody gets to curate their own, uploading their own photographs if they're a member. So in short, these photographs are personal, and I can actually share them with you so that they are available for you to see in a private environment for your own personal use. They're not images that, of course, Positive Prime owns the rights of, or the intellectual property, or the ability to actually make them public in a public session. Even though, of course, this Zoom seems like it's public, it's still invitation only for you to be watching these images inside my session. Does that actually make sense? For those of you who don't know, we do have this special offer leading up to Christmas and the New Year's. So you can actually become a signature member, which means, of course, you would log in. You would go here and you become a signature member or a VIP member. This is available only for signature or VIP. You do this through Upgrade Account. This is the only place inside the dashboard. So once you've logged into your Positive Prime account, you go to Upgrade Account and you choose one of these two options. When you choose one of those two options before New Year's Eve, then you actually do receive this entire program. And this entire program is essentially you will be part of an online retreat. This online retreat is a couple of weeks. It's a couple of classes. It's truly incredible. We just had the most fantastic season 1. So we'll be doing season 2. But I think that what is even more amazing about this offer, yes, of course, you'll be able to customize all your sessions. What I do think is just really, truly the best value of all of this is that if you become a signature member now, you can include your friends and family in your membership, which means you can actually give us the email addresses for 4 other people who have accounts, and they will actually receive all of the benefits in terms of being able to edit their own sessions. So it's almost like you're sharing one account with 5 people. So it's like, instead of $20 a month, it's $4 a month across 5 people. Now, only the principal, so let's say only the person paying the $19.99 a month, or only the person who pays $150 a month, actually receives all of the aspects. So here are the things that they receive. The person who's the primary person receives a personal discounted opportunity with me. So you'll actually receive one coaching or guidance or energy healing session absolutely complimentary as part of your signature or VIP membership. But if you are a VIP or signature member, you can actually access coaching with me. And that coaching with me is only $30 per 30 minutes instead of $300 an hour, which is what I am normally. Okay, so only our VIP and signature members get access to coaching with me at that price. But what's more is that you, as a signature or VIP member, you actually can get in touch with me and you can say, hey, Kim, I want you to upload all of the photographs that are in your personal folder in your private collection of all of these amazing experiences and hotels, et cetera, et cetera. And I will put them into your private account, and then I will select them all into one session so that you can actually just click play on one of these sessions. Now, naturally, you will still have to upload photographs of yourself. Does that make sense? Gail, I know that you have one more really valuable question in you. I just know that you do. Or Patty, do you? Marcia, do you? Does anybody have one really great question that will really help everybody else as well? And more to the point, did I actually answer your question half an hour ago?
Yes, I was thinking, I am thinking about what you're saying about assigning meaning to images, whether they are personal or not. So yeah, I like the images that you've included here are extraordinary, Kim. Like, really quite amazing.
Seriously, it took me hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours, but I loved it. See, like, I have to tell you, I am so excited about the opportunity to live another 10 years. Like, I'm so grateful that I'm alive, and I'm so grateful that not only my direct sales business, but also PositivePrime is my business and Seraphini Mindspire is my business. I'm so grateful that I am in charge of the way that I create my life. I can go where I want, do what I want, whenever I choose, right? And given that responsibility and the accountability that I have and the awareness and, you know, the maturity around all of that, for me, sitting in front of the Four Seasons hotels websites, or there's another, you know, couple of really favorites I have, like the Mandarin Oriental is a series of hotels I love, the Arman Resorts, and some of these places I may have stayed in one, like I've stayed at a Four Seasons, I've stayed at a Mandarin Oriental, I've stayed at whatever, an Intercontinental, etc., etc. So I certainly know what I like, and I like stylish luxury, but I really like boutique hotels as well, where there's a lot of personal creativity and they're family-owned businesses and so forth. So anyway, like spending hundreds and hundreds of hours gathering all of these images and then being able to watch it once a week, I'll tell you, it's absolute pure joy. And I know how important it is. I think that that's the difference, Gail. Like, from a law of attraction, quantum physics, manifestation point of view, I know how unbelievably important, like most people really truly do not understand how important it is for you to go through the process and do this, for you to do this regularly. They think that they don't have as much control over what happens in the next 10 years, but they totally misunderstand their own power. So it's almost like a part of what I do, what my life's mission is, for helping you understand, helping me remind myself we have just the most immense power to live the life that we want, go where we want, do what we want, be inspired. You know? Oh. See, I see all of this and I just think, you know, I don't know if you just saw something flash past, you know, going and staying in an igloo. I can't wait to do that. It's going to be fun. It's going to shock me. And, you know, like, we're only alive for a very short period of time. And I think it wasn't until my 40s that I really understood how short life is. But I've got friends in my direct sales business, like team members, who are in their late 60s, early 70s, who are making, they've actually made like more than $100,000 or $200,000 in the last year. And they're actually people I know and I work with and I coach, right? And what I love about witnessing them is that I know a lot of other 70-year-olds who think that all of their assets is all they've got and it's over. And the next 10 years are about winding down, not winding up. And they think, I have to conserve the money that I've got because I've only got so much and then it's all going to run out. Whereas I work with people who think, woohoo, it's a brand new day and this is a brand new year. And, you know, quite frankly, in my late 60s and early 70s, I can learn something completely new and I can go out there and I can actually create enough income for me to just go and live it up. Like, a lifestyle like this isn't as expensive as people think it is. It's just not, right? Once you get a couple of loyalty points from cruising a few cruises and you build up your frequent flyers and you build up your, you know, other points or whatever it is, seriously, this is not anywhere near as expensive as people think it is. It's possible. So here's what I know, right? I sit here, we're leading into the holidays. I love Christmas. I love this time of year, even though, of course, I've had white Christmases in Austria and I've had white Christmases in upstate New York, right? And they've been fabulous. I've also, of course, had white Christmases where I grew up on the equator in Papua New Guinea, and certainly Christmases here in Australia are extremely hot and we all go to the beach. But this time of the year, I've had years where I have seriously been at a loss, where I've been depressed, worried, anxious, fearful, frustrated, pissed off, angry, frustrated, really angry, pissed off, you know, in despair, angry, really angry, furious, in a rage. Like, I've been there, but I'm just not there anymore. And I honestly believe it's because Positive Prime has totally changed me as a human being, right? And I have so much more real optimism. It's not unfounded. It's totally, completely founded. It's anchored. It's solid. It's real optimism. And I feel incredibly lucky that the person that I've become meant that I found the direct sales opportunity for me. It might not be for everybody, but my golly gosh, I freaking love it. Like, I'm feeling so blessed. Now, having said that, I'm also involved in one or two other multi-level marketing opportunities as well, and they're much smaller. But you know what I know? I know that I have it within me to create this lifestyle for us, for me and Cameron, and I can definitely pull that off in the next 10 years. High five! Let's go! It's so different than where I was 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I had insecurities galore. 10 years ago, and even at some stages over the last 10 years, I've had moments where I literally, I've had some shocking traumas. I really have I've had some unbelievably challenging and upsetting experiences. But in my review of the last 10 years, I promise you, I have been so incredibly laser focused. I have deleted all that SHIT out of my memory bank. And the only thing I keep reinforcing, I'm creating the neural pathway for, is that which has been absolutely, unbelievably way beyond my wildest imagination, fantastic and beautiful. And gosh, there's been a lot of that. It's been a discipline focus to really go through, okay, so 10 years ago, 9 years ago, 8 years ago, and I just was like, wow, seriously? In the last 10 years, I have actually created Positive Prime. Like, get that. What will I create in the next 10 years? If this is what I've created in the last 10. And I can tell you 10 years ago, I hadn't even conceived Positive Prime. I had the beginnings of it, the makings of it, the startings of the foundations of it. I was already in flow, particularly with I Am Grateful, but I really had not ever imagined a global community with tens of thousands of people in it. Never, ever, ever, not even, never would have I even allowed myself to think something so ridiculous. But it's real. 10 years ago, I would have been afraid of the kind of responsibility that that would have meant. I'm not anymore. I love you all, right? I love every single one of you, even those of you who send us crazy emails going, can you please edit out all the black people or all the Jews or all of the gays? And I go, seriously, I love it how people show up in my life just to help me understand the mission that I'm on, right? Like, are you for real? Go find yourself a different technology because you sure as hell are not welcome here, right? That's a lot of bad language for those people who don't like bad language. So anyway, you know, it's so much fun. And I get to choose the fun now. I didn't even know that I got to choose 10 years ago. I know I get to choose now. Oh. Okay, so will your personal pics you're offering to load for VIP members? Yeah, so you'll be able to choose them. Yes, you'll be able to choose them. Absolutely. They'll be in your library and you'll be able to choose them. So here's I probably need to do this just before we go. So I could, if I wanted to, choose just 100 photographs to be in this session and a different 100 to be in the next session and a different 100 to be in the next session. So I could watch all 1,000 images across 10 sessions. Or because there are 11,000 images, of course, I could watch 100 sessions over 100 sessions, and they could all be different images in different sessions. Now, I could do that, except I am really freaking busy. So I have not sat down at my computer and done that. But see, Beth, now you've given me great inspiration, great idea. Why don't I do that for myself? I've got 100 sessions, so I'll do 100 photographs in one session, then another 100 photographs in another session, 100 photographs in another session. I will tell you what I do for all sessions, all sessions, and that is photographs of myself and my loved ones and our pussycat and anything that helps me to just have my other than consciousness link this with me. I've told you about that all before, haven't I? Lots of people create vision boards. There's no photograph of themselves on a vision board, so then they're manifesting for other people, someone, an angel, a fairy, their neighbor, right? Most people do not actually know that. I mean, you must have photographs of yourself in your vision boards. You must, right? So, is that good? All good? I'll tell you, because in Positive Prime, in the settings is where you actually change the name. I have Kim Serafini at the moment, but Cameron has been watching this because, of course, he loves all my photographs. Even though we've personalized his account with all of his photographs, he loves these photographs. And I haven't actually gone to the trouble of uploading these photographs into his library. Maybe I should. Anyway, he wants me to go back in and change it to Kim and Cam, not Kim Serafini, because he doesn't want to be manifesting all of this for me and it not include him and I go off traveling around the world without him. I think that's hilarious. Gosh, he makes me laugh. So there are actually lots of photographs of him as well. That should bond us together and keep us bonded, entwined. Anyway, I hope that you've enjoyed this. I really do. I'm very happy to do this for you. Reach out to me. Any other questions, feel free. Even private message me, email me. We'll get to you. Mayumi and our entire team and I are going on vacation, right? So this is why I said that there was a time thing. What is it? It's Monday the 16th here in Australia. We are actually on vacation. I think it's this Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 18, 19, 20. And I think we're back for Monday the 23rd. I think that we shouldn't. I think we should just have 2 weeks off. No, I'm offering to do this. Anybody who jumps in, I will do this for you before we go on vacation, all right? And then we really won't be starting back until, I want to say, Monday the 6th. And Monday the 6th is when we've got a special retreat class. So yes, I'm back on deck Monday the 6th. In fact, I might go on holidays now. Just go to the beach and go and drink cocktails and swim in the pool and catch up with my friends and hang out with my nieces and nephews and just love life and just remind myself how incredibly blessed I am. And know that, quite frankly, because I've got these businesses and I've been doing the work and I'm in vibrational alignment, I keep making money, which allows me to actually, by the way, keep paying staff so that I can keep Positive Prime alive. It's a joy. It's a joy. Actually, you just saw Deloitte because of Amway, because these are some of our clients. So we've got, you know, like leaders, sales leaders in some of these organizations, and we're doing some change management or innovation programs in some of these other clients. So you're seeing some logos of some of my personal clients. Of course, those logos won't appear in your personal collection. In your personal collection will be just the photographs that are of amazing resorts and hotels and travel adventure experiences. So none of my actual personal photographs, you know, clients. I might put in there, like, maybe one day you'd like to bump into Richard Branson. So I put a photograph of Richard Branson. Maybe one day you'd like to be invited to a cocktail party on a yacht in Monaco or Monte Carlo. And maybe you'll be happy to see Roger Federer, who's also been invited. So maybe we'll put a photograph of him in there. Maybe we'll put a photograph of Esther Hicks, because you never know. You might get invited to an event where she's one of the keynote speakers. Maybe she'll speak for one of your multi-level marketing or direct sales network marketing organizations. Don't know, doesn't matter. Don't worry about how. Just know that it's going to happen and watch it and stay committed and just be consistent, be persistent, just stay connected, okay? Do the energy work. If you need help, seriously, reach out for a coaching session. If there's something you want to literally flip or change, like forever, and you really want me to unpack it for you and rebundle it with a pretty bow, I'm really happy to do it for you. I do it. I mean, that's what I love doing. All right. See ya. Love you. I'm, of course, just going to stay here and watch this fabulous session for the next hour. Think so. Oh, no, it's 11:15. I've actually got appointments. I must get to them. All right. Bye. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for all that you give me to make my life just infinitely richer. And I am so grateful for you. You have no idea. Yes, you do. See, you also help for the entire Positive Prime to be available for those people who do use it in their own mental health management, okay? Now, if you weren't VIP members, if you weren't signature members, guess what? We couldn't actually provide this to hundreds of people who watch sessions as they're having chemotherapy. And we know that that's a fact. We know that there are literally communities in need who have free accounts with Positive Prime and watch these kinds of sessions to help actually completely transform their lives. But it does take VIP and signature members to allow that to be. So you just have to know that I am so grateful for you. Love you. Bye.